I've certainly found that when I focus on the things that I can change and the things I am in control of, that's where you earn the dividends, so to speak, right? If I let myself go to, a negative cycle or the things I can't control, I have no influence over, whatever it might be, then, that negative feeds more negative in other areas of my life too, right? And so super important, I feel, right, for all of us to focus on what we can change and where we're going and what we're doing with our time versus, kind of getting sucked into the things that we can't control. This week is election week. The video will come out later probably, but this week being election week, I've heard from more than a few people, right? And especially because it's ongoing and we didn't get the announcements and we still are not even totally 100% sure this, that, the other thing, right? Like the unknown, right? And so everyone would just scroll, waiting for this, news or waiting for something new or our constant refresh addiction of, waiting for a dopamine hit of somebody text messaging us, you get lost in that stuff, right? You've got to be able to turn off your phone and turn off the notifications, really the distractions and everything else, right? Because you can get sucked into anything in this world, right? Maybe it's the season 7 of, whatever the latest show is, right? I've found myself doing it, but I've also found that when I stay focused and I stay working on something, right? Whether that's the business, myself, health and wellness, time in nature, any of these things, infinitely better as a human being, more grateful, happier, right? Than I am when I'm mindlessly scrolling, watching show, whatever it might be, right? Participating in kind of that treadmill of life and the unfortunate thing that, society has and technology unfortunately has for us, will keep us off our game, right? And so I try my best to be super mindful about that, right? If you can't change it, then there's no sense refreshing endlessly, waiting for, that next announcement or news piece or whatever it might be. I'm Stephen Taylor. This is Weekly ST. For the last 10 years, I've been building a couple $1 million cybersecurity IT support company here in Chicagoland, and I'm fascinated with living a wholly successful life. We talk about all of this every single week and more. Please like, share, and subscribe. This year certainly has been a lot of change in a lot of different ways, and one of the things that I always look at is can we control it or not? And in a lot of the things that have happened this year, we have no control over it whatsoever. Certainly we can get out and vote. Certainly we can, have control of our life and the things that we're doing, but we cannot control, politics or pandemics or the weather, right? And so I think navigating change is an important topic and discussion. There's a lot of things that our brain wants to keep us safe, right? Our brain, as much as we think we like change and we want to do a different restaurant or a new place or different things, we want to move, to a different state. Our brain wants to keep us safe. Our brain wants security. Our brain wants the same every single day, right? And so, that's where that fear and anxiety that we talked about, sets in. And commonly, a lot of people see, what I've done and the different changes that I've made. And I say it all the time, like, I'm still nervous about it. I'm still anxious about it. I'm still maybe fearful of some of these things, but I do it anyway because I want the growth. I want the change. I want these different things. But there are plenty of things that are outside of our control, and it's always an important question, I think, to ask yourself, can I change it? And if the answer is nope, well, then, move on. And you might as well not stress about it or worry about it or be fearful about it, right? If you don't have control over it, and there's a lot of things in life that we don't, you move on, you accept it for what it is, you navigate it, and you worry about the things you can change. So you worry about the things you can do something different with, right? It's important to remember, I think, that nothing lasts forever, right? In a good way and in a bad way, right? Things will change over time, and we've got to be okay with that. We're so lucky, in this life, even amidst, all the things that have happened this year. I think we still live, a ridiculously good life, or at least the vast majority of us do. And we're in control of the vast majority of our life as well, right? Certainly, there's a ton of things outside of us that we have zero control over, but we also have free will and freedoms and the ability to go and do and change. And I think that that's super powerful stuff. Like the smallest thing I could offer on this, right? Because really the root of that question is, how do we impact the world? Which is a big elephant to chew. I think it's just about be the person you want to see in the world, right? Like do the smallest little things, whether it be in your community. If you've got a broader reach and you can reach a bigger community, then go do that. But just be a good human, right? If each and every one of us stood up and did good things and did the right things and did what we knew to be good for everyone involved instead of just our selfish ways, then I think we would see that change, right? We would see the change in the world if more of us would just do the right things, the good things, and be a good human every single day. The number of small businesses in America, right, is tremendous. The stats escape me, right? But millions of jobs created because of small business. But each small business might only have 2 or 10 employees or 30 maybe, right? But if we can create a culture and a team and a community in that 10 or 15 people, and then 10 or 15 more businesses do the same thing that we are doing or something similar, right? Or take the same stance, then yeah, how much change does that create, right? And it's ripples in a pond, right? It starts small, but eventually, you can build some waves. That confusion on success, right? Our society has built success to mean you got to have the biggest house, the most revenue, the 1%, this, that, the other thing.
Right.
You're right. The vast majority of people are not going to reach those levels, and that's 100% okay. Success really should be based in happiness. Are you happy? And I think another big thing that I've learned over the years is take some more people with you. It's not all about me. Yes, the business relies on me and it needs me and all the problems are my fault and everything else, of course, but the business is bigger than me. The impact is bigger than me. And I think it's important to take more people with, so to speak, right? If we can create impact and change for the 10 to 50 others, how much greater good can we do with that? That's what's important. There's an importance in being self-aware about having a bad day, so to speak. And it's also 100% okay to honor it and just shelf it and clear your calendar and go do something else, right? Like, yeah, you got to work hard. And yes, you've got to put your energy into your business. And yes, it takes hard work to make it successful. I feel that taking one day is not going to, it is more important to take care of yourself than for that one day, go and force yourself to do the business stuff, right? And life is both sides, right? You've got to take care of you. You've got to take care of the human element too, right? It's not just business 24/7, 365. Navigating change is hard, right? I think the things that have helped me the most is asking the question, do I have control over it? And if the answer is no, accept it for what it is and move on, right? And trying myself to focus more so on the things that I can change that are within my control and pushing forward regardless of, the outside, the external factors. The challenge to all of us might be, what is one thing where we're letting our energy get sucked and we have zero control over it? We probably need to let that go.